Hello all, and welcome to the first introduction of version 5 of my colour panel mod, or glass panel mod. Transparency is not really supported at the moment, but I've been hard at work working on version 5, and this is an introduction to the mods, to the first part of the mod. So, whoops, don't need to go in creative. So, we're going to go over the basics of the mod and what you need to do. So one of the main basic things is you're going to need to go out in the world and break petals of flowers. So while you're on the world, just start whacking flowers whenever you see them. You're going to need a bunch of petals because you're going to need the dye. Another thing, while you're in the world, you're going to need to get a bunch of the crystals. But we'll first get started with the basics. So the first thing you're going to need is to make the beach. So you're going to need copper. So here it is. Here's the beach. You'll need for the whole entire mod. You won't need anything else but this beach. But you're also going to need some tools for the beach. So we're going to get some rubble, some leather, and sap. Now, first thing you're going to want to have is you're going to want to have a crude build hammer to get you started. And a crude hatchet. Now, in this video we're going to go over the basics of what you're going to need. Now, I have changed the recipe where you actually don't need the crude build hammer, I just realised anymore. You just need copper and leather for the actual panel hammer, so we're going to actually skip that step. So ignore the crude build hammer. We don't need a crude build hammer, but it's good to have one. Yeah, what you're going to need is this. So, normal crude build hammer does the same thing this does. This is the panel hammer. You can see it's got a 5,000 durability. Well, you only get 100 in a normal hammer, and then the other one is not that much more durability. I don't even know where the other one is, but we now have the panel hammer. So why do you need a panel hammer and an axe? Well, this is going to be your main tool for the mod. So you can see here there are other categories. We'll go through that a little bit later in future videos. There'll be a playlist down below. But you've got two categories here. So these are sets. So what are sets? They are colour sets. So I still have all the original old colours here. We can make it right here with yellow. And what this is you can place this on the wall. And then you whack it with the panel hammer. And it changes its colour. So this is the original colour set from the mod, but now the mod has expanded to a lot more colours. And when I mean a lot more, I'm going to put an image on screen. This is the new colour palette that the mod now has. So every single one of these panels, if you grab them out, will give you those colours. Built into one panel. You don't need all the single panels. You don't need every single panel to actually get that colour. It's all built into one panel. And there's also 4 variations of them. So these are actually grabbing from the nearby chest that I have nearby. Now the 4 variations are a little bit higher off the ground than what you think they're on the floor. The more built therefore also used for ceilings, so in the roof, so it's more like roof as well. But they do the exact same thing as the other panels. And that's mostly the basics introduction of the mod. Now you use a hatchet to break them. Now better the hatchet, the faster you can break them. Now the neat thing is, if you grab it, you can see it's a different colour. You can actually grab out the single colours of each of the panels, so be aware when you're breaking them and hammering them. If I break that, it's going to be a different item. It ain't going to revert to the original item. So you can get a lot of items really quickly, so be aware of that. But it's there, so if you break a colour and want to place it somewhere else, or one of the exact same colour, you can have the exact same colour. Because people get annoyed that the colours were resetting back to the default one, and when you've got one set that has 20 colours, you'll want to have it so it's easier so you can get the colour that you were using. So that's most of the basic of the mod. It's mostly panels and colours, but in the next part we'll go over what this tab is. So I hope you enjoyed this basic introduction of the mod, and I'll see you in the next part when we go over light panels.